Hello everyone and welcome back to the Bodyhood Brawl League Season 3. We're here for Qualifier League 3 and the second last game in the Qualifier Leagues altogether. We have Slaviour taking on Rarator here. First time we're gonna cast Rarator in this tournament. The Cash, one warband deploys tightly around its wagon while the other divides into 3 strike teams. Could be a very interesting game here. We see that Slaviour's warband has a decisive advantage with the rating. At this point, 300 points is quite a lot. But Rarator has... oh wow, yeah, this is not good for Rarator. You can see Slaviour starts with his entire warband around his wagon, and indeed around where Slaviour is circling, a little bit more to the left actually, where the surge point and that wordstone is. That's one of the deployment points for Rarator. As well on the top right side and of course on his wagon. Let's bring up quickly the board as it stands right now. You can see that Slaviour has 38 points, Rarator 33. So in theory it's possible here for Rarator to win this and take the third spot from Slaviour. Slaviour is most likely going to get second spot if he wins here. So it is possible, but this kind of deployment really doesn't favor Rarator, and he was a massive underdog even before going into this game. You can see the morale in the top left corner here. Slaviour 102, Rarator 104, very even. Very average kind of morale at this point in the game. Both of these players are of course going up into the upper division here, and a little fun trivia for you all is that in case the upper division, the lower division is going to be played out with the same kind of tournament system as we had in the Qualifier League, then if Rarator does not take 3 points or more in this game, he's going to face Slaviour for the very first game in upper division. Let's see how this plans out. It's unfortunate that they do need to put down 8 units, since Rarator can start with 4 units by his wagon, probably has 3 units in a little bit lower down there, Slaviour. Yeah, around there. That's where he starts with 3 units and then 1 unit in the to the very left. Slaviour could get a numerical advantage here if he moves towards one of these ends. That's exactly where you start, indeed, a little bit more to the right though. Slaviour might be aware of where it is, and Rarator probably has put some thought into his placement, put his high 69 initiative units at the very edge here to start moving away already before Slaviour gets to move. Seems like a very sensible decision. We have Inna Shevchenko, Purifier here, going through a lot of comets. See, she started with a much higher initiative and then switches to the blue Sigmarite Great Hammer to cast comets even better, less chance of a curse. Good luck and have fun, and underway we are. It's going to be great to start with the upper and lower divisions. It was in the Bodyhood Brawl League Season 2, it was something that many players felt a bit cheated out on. And we can understand the management in that position in that particular season took a lot of time to get going. And so too here in the third season. But in the second season they skipped upper and lower division entirely. Here we have a guarantee that we are going to play that. Which is 12 teams in the upper division, 12 teams in the lower division. In the lower division, the top 4 teams that end up there are going to go to the playoffs, and everyone in the upper division are going to go to the playoffs. You're going to get ranked 1 to 16, and of course the top division, the upper division here, is going to be ranked 1 to 12th. And the 4 top spots going to the lower division. So whoever wins the lower division should be playing against the 4th ranked player of the upper division. Not that that matters here for Slaviour and Rarator, both of them going up into the upper division, and both of them playing Sisters of Sigmar. As kind of a weird twist of fate has made it so that, as you all know by now, all of the Sisters of Sigmar warbands have been playing in the Qualifier League 3. The Qualifier League 3, which has taken a lot of time to complete. Qualifier League 2 was done several weeks ago now. I think 6 or 7 weeks ago. 6 weeks ago, I think. And I think it's actually 7 weeks ago. And Qualifier League 1 just half a week or a week after that. So we have been waiting for a long time for this Qualifier League to finish up. And it's been partly due to these two players, of course. They've been a bit slow to get their games going. So glad that they're going at it right now though. Gonna skip ahead a little bit on the movement here in the early parts of the game when it is Rarator's turn. Doesn't seem like Slaviour is actually gonna use his deployment advantage here to any good effect. Well, he isn't. Jumping into the game, we're still in the first round here, and Rarator has been exposed with one unit. He has picked up his own idol. You can see that in the lower left as we go down a little bit. Slaviour has also spotted these two circles. It's a bug with the game, but he knows that there are characters there, at least 2 of them. He has made some effort using the Sister Superiors for Sigmar to move some units ahead, as you will see, but not much else. And we do see Fraki Holzman, which seems to be a level 0 sister here for Rarator. Who's picked up the idol. It's gonna be difficult to hide that. The 300 points seems to be maybe luck with the items. Particularly Slaviour has been lucky to get Divine Wrath Reduction, the blue formula, on his 2 blue Sigmarite Great Hammers. That adds up to quite a lot of rating after a while. Weapons and runes add up to way more rating than, for example, skills do. Alright, we do see the matriarch materialize. It seems like Rarator is drifting towards the right, same as Slaviour here. It's going to be important that none of them try and expose one another, because they do have lots of comets available. And neither one of them wants to be... Wow, that could be a position that Slaviour could harass. I'm going to see about that. He seems to be slightly under-leveled compared to Slaviour. I wonder if Rarator has missed out on... some of the objectives in PvE. Of course, as some of you viewers might know here, it's also very difficult to play against Slaviour, of course. He is ranked number 1 in the world currently, so you can expect him to do pretty well in PvE and other places too. And there we see an excellent use of perception. We rarely see perception being used like this. But there you go, perception being super useful here in PvP. getting both of the purifiers. That has been Rarator's tactic. He skipped out on the Sisters Appear entirely and instead got 2 purifiers as soon as they opened up. So all of the Comet casters are nearby here. Obviously Slaviour would love to engage one of these. I mean, remember that the purifiers cannot disengage. But it's a little bit spread out, especially Sister Superior is quite far off, owing that she gave 4 Sigmar to a lot of characters here, as you can see from the movement that Slaviour has done so far. Could potentially lock them up, but he needs his own purifier to come into effect here. Goes without saying, of course, that if Slaviour sees some of Rarator's units, Rarator sees some of Slaviour's units. Depending on who that is, it could be just the top right sister here. Could also be someone else that has shown their face, for example the matriarch. She wants to stand behind the pillar. Oh wow, yeah, she can actually target the matriarch here. It's going to be a really good boost for Slaviour's attack here incoming. And he also puts the Sisters Appear here behind the pillar so that she's not entirely in line of sight for all of the comets. It's going to be more targets for Rarator to look at. It's going to be a big onslaught coming in here as soon as Slaviour can move his matriarch. He can move quite a bit of distance with this one. And that is Slaviour's main tactic, using 4 Sigmar on his 2 Comet casters and then just doing a lot of damage and retreating, hoping nothing happens with Divine Wrath. And retreating for such a distance that you cannot catch them in one turn. And it has worked really well so far, with the exception of his first game against Bubs as a level 0 warband, where randomness has a much bigger effect. He has won every single game. Especially since his comets have been mastered. It's been quite a difficult challenge to face Slaviour. If you remember from the second season here, a Sister of Sigmar player, that time Ainir won that season, showing the Sister of Sigmars are very strong in this format. And another one of our very good players commented that, saying that they are a little bit overpowered early on, since a mastered comet is basically the equivalent of a purple weapon, and barely anyone has gotten much in the way of good weapons just yet. Alright, see if she can come up here. One more attempt. Yes, she does. Gonna be instantly in melee, but with whom? One of the purifiers. That is interesting. And we also have the matriarch here, so she cannot really move at this point. It's a very awkward position for Rarator to be in, but Josephine Markman might not live for too long either. But we're gonna see a lot of comments coming in here from Slaviour's side, helping out, boosting Josephine here. She still has 182 wounds left remaining. We'll throw some comments up here. One of the good things with the spells as well, not just that they are acting as purple weapons early on here, is that they have such a massive line of sight. You just need to see a tiny millimeter of someone's shoe and then you can instantly start throwing the comets around. And here we go. It's not the target he wants to hit. He wants to hit one of the Purifiers or the Matriarch here. Yes, now he has it. That is quite a lot of damage. Gonna have 2 more. Might actually be able to kill that Purifier. Let's see. Ah, no, that's not gonna happen. Save the magic resistance check, 9% chance, rolled an 8. Slaviour has been very lucky with his Divine Wrath chances here, but that was also very nice for Rarator indeed. Is that another window that Slaviour can buff the Matriarch with for Sigmar? And it is possible. So this Purifier should probably not have lived through this. Now she gets at least 1 turn to do something. And she starts doing the comets here as well. And why shouldn't she? It doesn't matter if she's hurt by the Divine Wrath here. She is in a much more precarious situation. If she dies, it doesn't really matter. She's going to die anyway. Boosting the initiative here drastically. Could that go above the Matriarch? Possibly. If she doesn't get hurt by anything else like the Purifier of Slaviour, then she could live through this and get another turn to do some heavy damage. Might even be able to kill Josephine here and move away. $71. What is Josephine? She's lower than that, right? Because the highest one was 69 earlier. Highest one was 69, and that was from Rarator. So this could be very deadly. You can see that when Rarator casts here, he has a much higher Divine Wrath chance. It is an indication that Slaviour does have the reduction in Divine Wrath, the runes, or that his blue Sigmarite Great Hammers is something that Rarator has no response to. But Rarator takes the lead here, killing off a henchman. Didn't really suffer too much there. What can Inna Shevchenko do? She's really far off. Really far off. She needs to get into the fight. Much closer into the house, no? Yeah, there she is. Also switching weapons here, but it's not quite as high as Rarator switcheroos. Bit unlucky. Gonna have 69% chance for the second one. Could finish off the Purifier here. It's gonna be his only chance. Needs to hit. Needs to hit on this one hit. Manages not to do that. So that unit by Rarator is gonna have a second turn because none of these remaining sisters can actually do anything, and the Matriarch could do a lot of damage to that unit that just climbed up. Catching one of the Purifiers, locking her down, did not do any damage though. Bit unlucky here for Slaviour so far now. And Rarator could cement his lead and could bring out a shocking result if he keeps this up. Still only the henchman is losing. The main engines of destruction in Slaviour's warband is of course the Matriarch and the Purifier. And to some extent the sisters appear. Well, of course, all the heroes and the leader. As it is with almost every single warband. But the staying power is going to be drastically reduced. And remember that Rarator has his henchmen coming in as well. Could cast a spell here. Too bad. Remember that when the Matriarch casts a spell successfully, her next attack is cheaper. That's really what Rarator was looking for here. Like this. Now he has one red pill for doing another attack. Doing 50 damage. Also boosting up her initiative by doing some switcheroos. And will produce an all-alone check in case that character actually lives. I think this could be a good idea. Focus firing down this Purifier. Oh my god. Some good draws by Rarator so far. Let's see if things can change around. Remember that now it's the Rarator's turn here with the Purifier. Started. Needs to do a lot of damage on this sister. She does not want to get caught there. He could set up some kind of no-go zones for the Purifier if he could go to a level. Remember that if you set up ambushes against Purifiers, they are really effective because the Purifier cannot escape them. Gliding back and forth here. I hope we don't have a desync. If you're wondering why the Purifier actually just did the attacks there, I think it could be because she got Devotion. Devotion is one of those annoying curses, you know, that I think it increases spellcasting cost by 2 red pills. That's quite a lot. Yeah, I could set up some kind of... She's coming for help at least. Would have wanted her a bit more forward, not that she would attack, but she would deny coming around the corner here for the Purifier to start doing damage on the other Purifier and the Matriarch. Because Slavior's Purifier coming in now can do a lot of damage. And will want to focus on Rarator's nearly dead Purifier, without a doubt. Some of Rarator's units are really far behind. He really moved up ahead with the Purifiers and the Matriarch without much of the support. A little bit like Slaviour did, but Slaviour had more of his units nearby thanks to the Sister Superior, particularly his henchmen. There she goes. What can she do? She will not be too effective of a caster here, since she switched her weapon. But she can reach the Purifier, alright. That is what we were fearing here. Slaviour equalizes here. Gonna be very dangerous to cast like this. Let's see if something happens. Fervor kicks in. That's kind of, you know, that's the most lenient one. You see, -1 max OP, -1 SP. One of the most favorable ones to get. Could see a death here. And indeed we do. So Rarator has taken 2 points now. It's he needs 1 more point to go ahead of Paranoia, I believe, in the final upper division table. I think that could be a good move. I'm not gonna lock down the Purifier, but at least she's not subject to the comets right now. One thing that Slaviour could do right now, I know he has a numerical disadvantage, but if he could block the path up for most of Rarator's henchmen, then the numerical advantage will turn into nothing, as there are more units of Slaviours around here to actually help in the fight, while most of Rarator's units are a bit behind these buildings. I think he might do some sort of zoning here with his last sister. Slaviour, of course, needs to look at his morale too. I mean, it's only 24 morale left now, and that's not too much in the way of punching. It's just 2 more characters dead, and Rarator could potentially get this. Well, that was easy to catch. Notice that both of these sisters have helmets on. If Rarator could move up there, he could get an all alone check on. Can she get in there? No, it doesn't seem like it. Doesn't seem like it's just out of range. I think this is a good move by Rarator, focusing on the heroes, exactly what Slaviour is doing whenever he can. Trying to focus damage on the units that actually do a lot of damage. 19 Divine Wrath. If something hits her, it's gonna affect both of these henchmen too, if it's an area of effect. 34, nothing happens so far. Switching weapons, so she's gonna have a much higher initiative for the next round. Alright. Gonna do the same here for Slaviour. Slaviour has shields for his alternative slot. They're empty hands for Rarator, meaning that Rarator is gonna get a much higher initiative boost from that. You see 71 again, so it's gonna be the first unit to move. This Purifier. She needs to be careful, she's gonna trigger the ambush. Oh. that was kind of funny. Yeah, that was something, wasn't it? Very good vantage point to start throwing comments around. Oh my god, she's gonna have some luck here if she's gonna live through this. Doesn't seem to happen, so Slaviour taking equalizing once more, but it's more or less in a big lead right now, considering 36% chance to get some sort of effect here. Got punishment, it's just a little bit of damage, also a very good effect to have on you. As we said for Slaviour here, he needed to watch his warband morale. It's going to be the same for Rarator. Gonna lose another key unit here. That is not a GG just yet, but Rarator needs to lose one more unit and then he is gone, since he has lost every single hero, including and the leader. So he cannot make a route test anymore, so just one more loss and Rarator will lose this game. Can he turn things around? Unlikely. Remember that Solveig here is in an ambush. Might not want to trigger that.
A new round has started.
See what Rarator can do here for his very last turn. I think Rarator's put up a pretty good fight, all things considered. Remember that he was scattered, he could not really do too much about that. That's partly the reason why his units have been lagging behind in this fight, even though he has had a numerical advantage twice so far. He also seems to be a bit under with the rating, which is owed mostly due to playing the PV. Oh, I mean, it's only due to playing the PV, so that's something that Rarator has not done just quite as well as the magnificent Slaviour has. Indeed, indeed. Yeah, that's kind of the fault with most of the Sisters of Sigmar's warbands, and both of these players seems to have built there a little bit like that. Yeah, I know that Slaviour has some two-handed weapons here to do a little bit of damage from the henchmen, but most Sisters of Sigmar's players seems to have gotten into the same kind of typical warband play, which is henchmen that are there just to tie things up while the heroes go around and cast comets and stuff and do the actual damage. And if you start losing all of the heroes, you're starting to lose your way of winning the game. It's not as typeset for many of the other warbands in the way they play. Of course, plenty of warbands do play like that, with henchmen just there to tie things up, not doing any real damage. The problem with that kind of tactic, of course, is when people start disengaging or fleeing to get into the real stuff. But Slaviour's warband so far with the Sister Superior buffing the Purifier and the Matriarch will have enough movement that you cannot really reach them in one turn. And if you could reach them, you would pose a lot of problems for Slaviour. Well, it can't really... Yeah, shouldn't really surrender here. Should just play until you lose one more guy. Can't really voluntarily route just yet. Targeting the Matriarch. Yeah, of course, Slaviour would like to get some kills, but he's pretty far behind Clyde, and I don't think that he will catch up. Remember, Clyde has one game left as well, playing last placed Classic Charlie. It doesn't seem like Slaviour is going to end up in the top position of Qualifier League 3. He's going to end up in the second position after this game. Provided that Clyde wins, of course, but he should be able to. Alright, that was kind of harsh. Judgment. As you can see, it was a stun resistance check. Did manage to survive that thanks to the helmet. And Fraki Holzman is going to reduce the morale quite a bit. Remember that she's the one that's carrying the idol for Rarator, so that's another minus 16. Good move here, providing the all alone check. Could go on and kill Frauke now. Slaviour should really go and kill her just to get this game over with. Doesn't really matter how many kills he gets here. He's gonna end up in second place in Qualifier League 2, and that's gonna be third place overall. Unfortunate that he's moving in for the kills here. Trying to get as many kills as possible. Well, it does seem very unlikely here that Rarator's gonna pull off another kill unless Slaviour happens to get punished by his own comments from Divine Wrath. And in that case, we're just sitting here waiting for Slaviour to kill something so that the game automatically will end. Well, not right away, it needs to end as soon as it's one of the Rarator's units' turns. Slaviour seems to be concerned here with killing as many units as possible for the score. I know this has been up a little bit to the debate that why are we counting the score of how many people you kill. Maybe we should have some kind of system instead that gives you a flat amount of points for a win and then just use kills for a decider as a score difference. Would make some of these things a bit obsolete. Also, you would not be punished as much in case your opponent voluntarily routes or forgets to voluntarily route. We have one of those situations that has come up already in the Bodyhood Brawl League Season 3, which is... oh wow, that was a very nice hit. Could actually do a kill here, I believe. Let's see, elects not to. Tries to milk out as much as possible. Gonna get another one here. So there is one of those situations in the Bodyhood Brawl League Season 3, as I was saying, which is that in Qualifier League 1 we have the difference here is that Doc is going down into the lower division while Dig is going on into the upper division, and that is disregarding all of the other results here and the points that they accumulated. And if you say that that was, you know, the points that they should have gotten, both of them played By the Way Rant, and Dig was able to beat By the Way Rant by 7-0 because By the Way Rant stayed in the game, but when By the Way Rant played Doc, he gave up pretty quickly with a voluntary route, giving Doc barely any points, I think 2-0, and that made all of the difference, and that's the reason why Dig is going to be in the upper division while Doc is not. Congratulations to Slaviour, 4-2 here, last game. Thank you for all for playing. I hope you enjoyed watching this game. And thank you to Rarator as well. Gonna see you in... maybe we'll see Clyde against Classic Charlie. If not, we are going to see you next in the upper and lower division. Farewell for now.